Consider supporting Dan the Fireman on Patreon for just $1 a month. More information and link below.
Ooh, I almost slipped on the gravel here. That would have sucked. What is up, everybody? Dan the Fireman here. I want to talk to you about how to get to know your motorcycle. That's super important. You need to know your motorcycle if you're going to be riding safely on your motorcycle. You don't want to just pick up a random motorcycle and just start going off, especially if you're a beginner. You need to get to know the actual bike. I'm not going to hop on a sport bike and think it's a lot like the cruiser bike that I have. I'm not going to go ride a dirt bike. I don't have any experience with dirt bikes. I'm not just going to hop on pretending I know exactly what I'm talking about like it's this bike. Now, the best way to do that are with these tips, and we're going to jump right into it. The first thing you need to do is start with the right motorcycle for you. Now, it's about basically how do you pick your bike. If you like to be riding on a cruiser, more upright feel, just you like the cruiser look, I mean, that's the bike you're going to get. If you want more of a sport bike look, that's the bike you're going to get. If you want to go off-road but still be on-road, dual sport bikes are great. Motocross, that's a different type of bike. You got, tons of different types of bikes. Cruiser, sport bike, dual sport, adventure, touring, a ton of different bikes out there, and you really want to get the bike that is for you. So start off with the right motorcycle for you. So now you got the bike that you really wanted. Okay, let's use me an example. I like this bike. I wanted a Sportster. So what I did is I went out and got the Sportster. Started with the Sportster. Second, I need to read the manual. Now they come with a user manual when you buy the bike. Okay, so when you buy it, it should come with the user manual. If you buy it straight from the dealership, if you buy it used, they might not have it anymore. But there's usually a user manual. That's just kind of like, this is what the controls are. This is what the throttle is. The rear brake, front brake, what type of gas you need to put in it. So that is what is in the user manual. So read that user manual, get yourself familiarized with what you need, because if you go to the gas station, you have no clue what kind of gas you're going to put in it, no clue what's best for the bike. You're already a step behind of what you need to be for a responsible motorcycle owner. So definitely read the user manual when you first get that bike. And if you don't get one when you buy it from the dealership, which shouldn't happen, or if you don't get one from when you buy it used, look it up online. I'm sure there's plenty of places you can find it, especially from the manufacturer's website. I'm sure if you call them up and say, hey, I bought this used, it doesn't come with the user manual, is there a way I can get the manual? And they should be able to help you out. So number 3, you need to be familiar with the motorcycle controls. Now, that might take a little while, especially if you're jumping from one bike to the other, but if you're brand new, or if this is like the first bike you're really riding, you're basically just dedicating all your time to that bike and dedicating I don't want to lose my digital recorder. That would suck. You'll dedicate all your time to learning that. For me, I have the start button, the run button, the kill switch right here, the right turn signal, left turn signal, horn, high and low beams. That's pretty much it. And that's in terms of electronic controls. So you're going to learn the front brake, rear brake down there. You're going to learn the clutch and the shifter. You're going to learn a bunch of other stuff in the throttle and all that. Familiarize yourself with that. The clutch and the front brake, rear brake, throttle and all that stuff, and the shifter, that's all pretty much standard across most motorcycles. There are some automatic motorcycles, and there are some scooters that you don't have to do that. But a lot of the electronic stuff, right, like up here, I knew from my KLR 650 that I had for a little bit, that was different, and it was kind of weird. Like the turn signals were left and right on the left hand, so it's a little bit different. You're gonna have to kind of learn that, especially when it comes to turn signals, so you can indicate where you want to go or how to turn on your bike. If you have a prime, if you have just a bunch of stuff that you're gonna have to learn. So getting to know your controls so that it comes second nature. So if I need to use my left turn signal or right turn signal, I can do it without having to look down and find it. You can just actually do it. So practice that. Number 4, you need to check your motorcycle before every single ride. I highly recommend every single ride, but at least at minimum once a week. But definitely recommend every single ride. Now, this is a topic that I've already covered, and I covered in great detail, and I will have a link in the description and a card in the upper right talking about that. And I did a full checklist, how to do it, what to do it, what to look for, and I'm not going to go over it now, but basically you need to check your lights, you need to check your belt or chain, you need to check all your cables, check your fuel, check your oil, all that stuff. And it's just real simple, super quick and easy to do. But definitely check that video out in the link in the description, or in the card that was popping up earlier. So number 5, you need to keep it in a safe riding condition between rides. Now the way you can do that, if you do not have a garage, is to use a motorcycle rain cover. I have one in the description that I use, and it's 20 bucks, and it keeps the bike from having UV damage from the sun, because Arizona is just terrible with paint. It's terrible with, you know, baking the rubber linings, baking everything. It's just kind of damaging it. Plus, if it rains and you don't have a cover, you can mess with your electronics a little bit. Now, for the most part, your bike is waterproof or water resistant, but you still don't want to be getting like hail on your bike. You don't want to be getting rain in all the crevices, causing rust. That's a huge thing. You don't want vitally important parts rusting. You need to keep it covered and protected from basically the environment. Another thing you can do between rides is, I'm going to turn right on here. I'm going to get out of here. Another thing you can do between rides is just, you know, just double check all your stuff. Like when you get home from a ride and you haven't ridden for a week, during that week, double check everything. Make sure everything's up to par, you know, everything's doing good. And another thing you could do is put it on a battery tender to keep your battery, you know, topped off. I use a battery tender when I still lived in a house. I live in an apartment right now because of the whole move and everything. But I loved having that battery tender, keeping the battery nice and secure, double checking the nuts and everything in between rides, especially long rides. It's a great way to double check everything. So it kind of goes back to doing a pre-ride check, but during the week when you're not riding and whatnot. All right, guys, so the last thing that I want to talk to you about is you need to avoid adding stuff to your bike that is going to make your bike basically more difficult to ride. Whether that is more difficult to control, or maybe you have too much power now, you know, just there can be an issue with that. So don't get, like, if you're a short person, don't get this massive, you know, lift to your bike to where you can't really touch the ground and it becomes more difficult to ride. If you can handle it, go ahead, fine, do what you want, but it's not recommended. Don't get massive ape hangers if you're on a cruiser bike. Like, I wouldn't get massive ape hangers up here because I wouldn't be able to control my bike as well as I would right now with just having the Biltwell motor bars or the cafe bars that I used to have. Don't get, for me, like, I don't want to get massive forward controls because I won't be able to control the bike because I'm very short. So just don't get crazy add-ons that are going to make it more difficult for your bike. So guys, just don't be adding a bunch of stuff to your bike that's going to make it more difficult for you to just control the bike. If you can't control the bike, or if you made it more difficult, that's kind of your fault if something does happen because you weren't able to control the bike. If you can't turn as well because you made some massive adjustments, that's only going to cause more issues for you in the long run. It doesn't matter if it looks cool. If you crash, you're not going to have a bike anymore anyways. So guys, hopefully I was able to help out some of you. If you like this, please click that subscribe button. Right next to it is a bell button. When you click that, you will be notified every single time I post a video. I post a lot of motorcycle beginner tips. I post a lot of moto vlogs, and I'm definitely going to be posting a lot more motorcycle gear reviews. So if you have any questions, please click that comment box and ask me anything you want, and I will try my absolute best to answer it. If I can't answer it, I'll find somebody that will. With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I'll see you guys later.